You are watching a video update from iBase.com on the Talking Hoosier Baseball YouTube channel. My name's Chris Feeney. It is Thursday, August 22nd, and we are just going to do a quick summertime update. Classes start again on Monday. Fall ball is going to be rolling. It's been a busy summer with the alumni, with Summer League, and, with fall ball coming back, no better time to come up with a video update. We will review what has gone on through the summer, and we'll preview the fall ball a little bit, go over some roster, go over some positions, some new guys, stuff like that. To start off, definitely got to touch on the Hoosier alumni. It's really been a big summer, maybe the biggest. I was talking with at Pro Bowl Hoosiers on Twitter, and he likes to call this the golden age of Hoosier baseball, and it really is. I mean, if you think about it, if you think about what's going on with all the guys that are up, Aaron Sleeger just got called up too to add a pitcher into the mix. We got the 4 bats in MLB. We got plenty in the minor leagues. So I decided, since Pro Bowl can't be on here, obviously, with his incognito status, I figured I would shoot him a message and pass along some info. So what I did, I shot him a text, and I kept it real simple. And I said, Pro Bowl, what are your top 5 highlights of the summer? Hoosier highlights, right? You can't be on the video, but let me pass along the information. Let me pass along your input. Please, if I had $1 for every time somebody asked me, who is at Pro Bowl Hoosiers on Twitter, I'd be rich. But let's go. Let's see what he put down here now. What he did, and he didn't put them in any particular order, but first he gave me the 11 Hoosiers offered pro contracts. I mean, that basically started off the summer, right? We had 10 guys drafted. Then Ryan Feynman got his free agent deal. We even had a recruit get signed by the Giants, Reece Sharp. He decided not to, go to his professional team. But we also had 2 guys currently on the team decide not to go with, Cole Barr and Elijah Dunham. But still, with that, we had 9 guys enter the minor leagues all at once. What a class, right? I mean, it was just pick after pick after pick. What a job by Limo. He brought them all in. It's just an amazing to think that we were on that list with all those schools that had all those draft picks that day within the 3-day draft. It really was impressive. So let's see what else did he have on here. Now, another thing that really impressed him over the summer, the Hoosiers, well, when he typed this up, we had only had 50, but Schwarber hit another bomb last night. So now we have 51 total home runs in the major leagues from Hoosiers, and that's a new record. 1949, Ted Kluszewski had 49 by himself, so it took, 4 Hoosiers to beat him, between Alex Dickenson, Sam Travis, Kyle Schwarber, and Josh Fegley. But 51 home runs in the pros this year. It never been done before. And just more proof that it is the golden age of Hoosier baseball. He also mentioned having all 4 of those players, because Sleeger's wasn't in, he just got up, so focusing on the 4 bats, having their best seasons yet. Okay? Fegley had never started. Dickerson really never had any solid playing time. And to think what he's been pulling off, I know he's been injured a little bit now, but when he got on the Giants, he jump-started that team. Grand slams, triples, home runs. He basically put them back into the playoff race all by himself. So it was a great job by Alex Dickerson. We do have the Alex Dickerson Award on Talking Hoosier Baseball for a reason, right? Sam Travis, another career year. I think he had 1 total home run so far in his career. Now he's got 6. Every night you see him with a big hit, with RBIs. Really showing the Red Sox that it's worth it to give him some time in the major leagues, and you could see what he could do. So really, really proud of Travis shining. And, of course, Schwarber. Definitely the best season of his career. Now, I mean, he did have the 10 days in the World Series in 16. And in 15, when he came up, there was that big push, right? But this is a full season. Home runs, RBIs. He's improved defensively. It's really been an impressive season for the 4 bats. Another thing he pointed out, in the minor leagues, we have had amazing pitching performances. Okay, we've got Caleb Barriga. He for the Giants, Double-A, made the All-Star team. He's dominating. His last 2 starts, he's been lights out. Kyle Hart, 9 wins in Triple-A for Boston. Last night he probably should have had another one, but after he came out of the game, they gave it up late. Kyle's had an amazing season. He also listed Ryan Halstead, his best year out of the pen in Double-A. He got moved up to Triple-A for a bit. Now he's back down in Double-A. But he's been great. And, of course, Jonathan Stever for the White Sox minor league system. They're calling him Verlander. There was actually a Jonathan Stever Day now for the Winston-Salem Dash. Even in the locker room, they're calling him Verlander. He's been doing interviews, podcasts. He's really jumped up the pipeline for the Chicago White Sox. So that's been real impressive, too. And lastly, he put Kyle Schwarber being the quickest Cub and the quickest Hoosier to get 100 home runs in MLB. Now that's for all the Cubs' history, to be the first one in games played to get to 100. That's real impressive. And obviously he beat Ted Kluszewski as far as getting to 100 home runs as a Hoosier in MLB. Now, Pro Bowl also wanted to kick in an honorable mention to Timmy Herron for pitching in the minor leagues. He had a 0 ERA his entire time at rookie level. Then they moved him up. He's doing well there. And Tanner Gordon for the Danville Braves, really opening up some eyes for the Atlanta organization. So, I mean, we've been having a lot of bats in the major leagues. But now it seems like the pitching's coming through the minors, and they're on their way. Good to see Aaron Slegers get called up for Tampa Bay also yesterday. So something to look at. Those were our highlights probably over the summer. We also had Josh Phegley hit the 500th ever Hoosier homer in the pros. And we had Kyle Schwarber hit the 2500 RBI for a Hoosier in the pro, major leagues. I shouldn't say pros, in the majors. They're all pros, obviously. Minors, majors. They are doing their profession. Now, another highlight to look at as far as the Hoosiers in the major leagues now, we have some possible Hoosier postseason. Aaron Slegers' Tampa Bay Rays and Josh Phegley's A's are battling for the wild card. It's a 3-team race with Cleveland. One of them will host the game. One of them will obviously go on the road for the AL wild card game. And then the other team will be left out. And right now, Cleveland is a half a game up on Tampa and Oakland. And Kyle Schwarber, tied for the division with the Cubs. It's a half a game lead, tied in the loss column. So they're also looking at possibly, if they don't win the division, they could host the wild card game or have to go to Washington right now if the season ended today. So we could be looking at some Hoosiers in the postseason as well. Now, something to look at as far as our current players, right? Summer League. We had a lot of guys head over to the Summer Leagues this year. And when we were following it, throughout the summer, after obviously the end of the season in Louisville and the summer moved on, we had, I believe it was 4. We had Ty Bothwell, the redshirt freshman this year, the lefty pitcher. He had some amazing stats and made the All-Star team. I got the stats here. Let me pull them up. He had, they're really eye-opening. Let's see, here we go. Ty Bothwell, in 55 innings, 81 Ks, and threw to a 1.78 ERA. And made the All-Star team for his summer league. Jake Skrine, okay? He'd be a redshirt sophomore this season. He went over to summer league and made the All-Star team as well. Big bat, okay? Doubles, homers. And he went over there to learn to play first base, basically, and he made the All-Star team playing first. Skrine's numbers, he had 304 with 8 doubles, 4 homers, and 24 RBIs. So that was big for him. Also, Elijah Dunham made the All-Star team for his summer league team. We'll pull up his numbers. He hit 360 with 11 doubles, 6 homers, and 8 steals. Grant Richardson, another All-Star. Let's see, where's his? He hit 313 with 7 doubles, 5 homers, and 6 steals. So, a lot of our guys shined, right, in the summer leagues. So it was a great way to competition. It doesn't matter the level. Obviously, we would like some guys in the Cape. It didn't happen. Whatever level you're at, success is good, and it breeds confidence, and that's a good thing. One more guy to mention, he might not have made the All-Star team for his team, but Cole Barr had a big summer. 291, 6 doubles, 7 homers, and stole 20 bags. So maybe Cole Barr is going to be taking that speed level to another, I don't know. Listen, if he's going to hit 17 bombs next year and steal 20 bases, look out. So the summer leagues were really full of Hoosiers. The major and minor leagues were full of Hoosiers. It was a busy, busy summer. We really have to start looking at now fall ball, though, right? Because with classes starting Monday, they can get outside, they can practice. We actually have one fall ball game announced so far. That's October 26th at Cincinnati. I would think there'll be another one announced. I know last year there was 2. We had Evansville and Louisville. Plus, we had the Hoosier World Series on that first weekend in November. But for now, we just have the at Cincinnati game on Saturday, October 26th. If we get a time, I'm sure we will. When we get a time, we'll let you guys know when it is. So we're going to take a little bit of time to check out the roster for the fall ball after we hit the mailbag. I put out, message out for some questions if anybody had any. 3 did come in, so we're going to take a look at those. All right. So we got Steve from Canada asked, when is Alumni Weekend? So I reached out and was able to confirm that it is homecoming weekend. Okay, so the alumni will be back if they choose to hang out. It is going to be the weekend of October 12th. Indiana football is playing Rutgers. That's Saturday, and that's going to be our baseball alumni weekend. Now, I know some years they've played a game. Sometimes they just take BP. I'm not sure exactly what was planned for last year, but I know they ended up having to just take BP in the cages because it started raining. So hopefully we'll get some better weather. We got plenty of alumni out there, man, with all the guys who got drafted, all the guys who left. You never know who might show up that weekend. So that's something to look at. Paul from the Facebook group asked, can we get a roster for fall ball with names and numbers? He mentioned that he likes to go to practices and he would love to know, because the names aren't on the jerseys, he'd love to know who just hit the 3 home runs over the fence, who just threw 2 innings of shutout ball with 4 Ks. And Paul, unfortunately, it's not something the university has done in the past. What a bunch of us have done, actually, has put together our own roster, like from guys we know. We'll get numbers off their social media accounts or when we see them at a practice. Again, they did put out a roster for the World Series, for the Hoosier World Series late in November. Maybe they'll put one out earlier in the fall this year. I don't know. But unfortunately, that's just not something that's been done in the past. He did mention he understands that possibly not all these guys will make the roster in February, since we can only keep 35. And I think he knows that's why they don't do it in the past. But if we do get one for the Hoosier Baseball World Series, we will pass that along. And who knows? Maybe this fall we will get one. We also got a question from James from Instagram about ticket prices. I really don't know about ticket prices. I wouldn't really even know who to ask. His question was, are the prices going to remain the same, how affordable it is, and stuff like that. And I agree. It is definitely affordable. The BART is the best deal in Bloomington. And I don't remember them going up since I've been here. I got here in 2014, and I'm pretty sure it's been $5 and then $3 for kids, single game, and then 3-in-1 season ticket. Since I've been here, I haven't seen them go up. So, maybe they won't go up again. I'm sorry, I really don't got an answer for that one. But thanks for sending the questions in the real last minute, too. I sent that out late last night. Thanks to Paul, Steve, and James. So now what we're going to do, we got a little fall ball roster. I put together some stuff here. Now, there's been a lot of talk, obviously, on the message boards and the Facebook group about, there's a lot of empty positions. And believe me, I get it. It really is. So we're going to go position by position. To me, it seemed like the best and easiest way to do it. So first off, we got catcher. Obviously, Ryan Feynman and Wyatt Cross graduated. And Jeff Holtz transferred to junior college. So all 3 from last year off the roster. And then we have 3 coming in. Okay, we have Brant Voth, Hunter Combs, and Colin Hopkins. Now, first we'll touch on Brant Voth. He's from Simi Valley, California, 6'2", 185. I've seen a lot of video on Brant through his high school last year's high school games. And let me tell you, launch angle will not be an issue for this young man. I think he already has that under control. This guy hits bombs over the trees. We talked about him in the podcast twice we talked about him on Talking Hoosier Baseball last season. He's got a long left-handed swing. I remember mentioning on the pod that it reminded me of Dallas Strawberry's swing, the way he'd get full extension and just hammer some balls. So he's going to be more of the offensive catcher. He is ranked average-wise as far as defensively. Then we have Hunter Combs, the JUCO transfer from Johnny Logan. He actually caught Tanner Gordon 2 years ago. In his 2 years over at Johnny Logan, he really improved from the first year. He hit 305 the first year, 376 the second. He had 23 RBIs the first year, 48 the second. Something else I noticed, in the 2 years, he only had 4 total pass balls. So that's a good thing. Defensively, he's really on point. As far as throwing runners out, he was 7 for 25 the first year, 7 for 35 the second year. I read up a lot about him as far as he calls his own games. He actually caught a 19 strikeout game, I believe it was, of Tanner Gordon's 2 years ago. He called the game. So he's a big-time defensive choice. And maybe they'll mix and match. You don't know what coach is going to do. But I would definitely say Brandt would be more of the offensive power bat option, and then Hunter would be more of the defensive experience catcher, since he has the 2 years catching JUCO. And Johnny Logan's a big-time program, so as far as JUCO. And then the third option is Colin Hopkins. He's over from Western Kentucky University. He had 206 last year, only made one error the entire season. Seems to be more of a glove guy. Real high energy, though. There's been some videos coming out from him from summer ball, and he likes to fire guys up, real energy guy. I saw him get a bunch of clutch hits to win some games for his summer league team. They did real good video-wise. His dad's actually Brad Hopkins. He was the number 13 pick of the Titans in, 93, I think it was, in 94. And his brother plays for Purdue, the tight end. So there's some Indiana connections there. So it'll be Vorth, Combs, and Hopkins for the catching options. Then we go over to, just randomly, I picked third base for next. Obviously, Cole Barr would be probably pretty solid there at third. What an improvement from the first year. I know he had mentioned in an interview about he was possibly injured, a little banged up the freshman year. And amazing. He went from starting 9 games to 59. He went from no home runs to 17 home runs. He went from 4 RBIs to 51 RBIs. So real big improvement from Cole. I know there was some defensive issues early, but I really think I think it was 17 errors I saw. But I got to think most of those were real early. I feel like he improved big time defensively through the season. Now we have a freshman coming in, Paul Tates. He's actually the number 1 ranked third baseman in Wisconsin. He went to Greendale High School. Perfect game, ranked him number 1. He's a big time athlete. He was a running back, a defensive back, and a wide receiver for his football team. I think Will's going to really like him. It sounds like he's a big weight room guy. So he's a real big-time third baseman. It sounds like he could play a little middle infield, too, but he's natural third baseman. He was second-team All-Wisconsin. He was Conference Player of the Year. He made first All-Team All-District. He could pitch, too. He had 11 Ks in a game. He had a bunch of games when it was 3 for 3 with a homer and 6 Ks on the mound. So Paul Tates for third base. Moving over to first base, that's another empty position with Matt Lloyd and Bradley gone. So in this one, it looks like we have 2 choices. And again, there could be guys we don't know about. There could be walk-ons. We don't exactly know what the staff is thinking. But for first base, Jake Skrine. Like I said, he got sent over to Summer League to really work on that position, and he did a hell of a job. He'll be a redshirt sophomore. Saugerties Stallions, that was his Summer League team. We talked about his stats before. He really shined. And the ball just sounds a little different off his bat. I don't know if you've noticed that. That's the way I feel. I never forget that it was the second game of the doubleheader in Memphis. 9th inning, down to 2 outs, he cracks the double out into the gap. There's a sound off of Jake Skrine's bat, and I could definitely see him, if he doesn't get the first base position, being an extra hitter. Hopefully he can get a lot of at-bats. And then for the other first base option, we actually have a grad transfer from Sanford, Jordan Fucci. This guy is 6'4", 230. Last year, he batted .308 with 15 bombs and 49 RBIs. All right, he actually was playing the outfield for them, though. He played right field the last 2 years. They had a prospect playing first base, a real big-time freshman, I believe, playing first. But he did play first base through high school and was ranked very high as a first baseman then. So this guy's got power to all fields, big-time opposite field power. I've seen some video on him. He hit for the cycle in the SoCon tourney against Mercer. He was just cracking balls, Oppo. So he can really affect this lineup in a power way. And again, we'll see how first base works out. I'm sure defensively he's going to have to be adequate, at least. Very important defensive position for us. Now let's see what else we got. Middle infield. Coming back, Jeremy Houston and Drew Ashley, obviously. And, maybe it's Jeremy at short and Drew at second, and that's it. Who knows? But as far as other choices, we got Cooper Trinkle coming in from Johnny Logan as well. A JUCO transfer. He's from Columbus North High School, actually. We have something up on the site. If you hit Future Hoosiers, you can check out what we wrote up on him. Last year, let's see. He hit .368, scored 44 runs, stole 17 bags. He had a .525 on base percentage for Johnny Logan. So that was good stuff. He was batting 5th for Johnny Logan. I would think he'd be more the top of the order guy for us, or maybe a double leadoff guy on the bottom if he's playing second or short, wherever he might take the field. And then also for the middle infield, we have Grant Macchiochi. I'm probably saying that wrong, but I'm going to go with that. He's a grad transfer from Kentucky. Yeah, Kentucky. But he changed his profile. He had a lot of Kentucky stuff on that Twitter profile, but he changed it up. He's 6'4", 200. Now, he pitched for Kentucky last year, but in JUCO, he was a middle infielder, and he had some real big-time stats. In 2015, he was, a two-way guy. He pitched, he was player of the year for Ohio, actually, as an infielder and a pitcher. So he made second-team national JUCO when he played for Murray State, when he was a two-way guy. So he can be a reliever, which he pitched very well. Maybe not last year at Kentucky, but remember, that competition's much, much different with the SEC. So we'll see what happens there. All right, what else we got? Okay, so we got infield. Oh, we'll go over to the outfield. Now, the outfield I have set up here. Obviously, we have Elijah Dunham coming back, Grant Richardson coming back, and Tyler Van Pelt coming back. All right, and then coming in, Ethan Vicrumba. I think a lot of people know about him. He's a 5-tool guy, probably the highest ranked prospect that we have coming in as far as position player. He's a center fielder in high school. I'm sure he can play a corner spot. We have Garrett Manis over from Munster High. Speed guy. Okay, he's an outfielder too. He could play center, corner, whatever it needs to be. Speed guy, steals, gets on base. He set some kind of record for his high school for steals already. Then we also have Tucker Shank. Now, he seems to be a real athlete. He was playing football for his high school. He played shortstop at first on the baseball team. Then they moved him over to center. We got Hunter Jesse out of Ohio and Ryan Fisher out of Florida. Other outfield choices, both educational hitters, good at-bat guys. It seems like really they could be additions to the team depending on if they get out in the outfield. Now, probably the number one question on the message board after, catcher and these infield positions, obviously, is the pitching. Okay? We obviously lost a lot of guys. I have a list here. I looked it up. It was about 290 innings off last year's stat board and about 310 strikeouts. So, yeah, that's a lot, And Mercer and Parker and them have to address and figure out what we're going to do. So, option-wise, I'm going to go over who we have and then who's coming in as far as the pitching staff for the fall. First off, senior Cal Kruger, right-handed pitcher, reliever. I know at the end of the year they had to shut him down, but I saw he was pitching in summer ball. He did well there, and I would think he'd be raring to go by the fall. We got the lefty Matt Petrosino, big reliever, big lefty, crafty guy, maybe a lefty specialist. He's been in falls before. We'll see if he can make the roster. You'll see as we go through this, there's not that many lefties, so maybe there's an opportunity for Matt. East Coast guy, too. We always got to look out for those East Coast guys. As far as the juniors, we got right-handed pitcher Austin Long. He came out of the pen the last 2 years. He was able to pitch a lot more in summer ball this year, so get some innings under his belt. So we'll see. Maybe they can extend him a little more this season. Connor Manis, obviously, threw 40 innings out of the pen last year. I would think he's lined up to be the closer, but obviously we'll see what happens after fall ball. Grant Sloan, another junior, another relief option. Now, as far as, those were all the righties. And then for the lefties, juniors, we got Braden Scott. Now, he was a starter for JUCO, and it sounds like they might be trying to lengthen him out. He might get some starts this year because with the whole weekend rotation gone, we're going to need some more starters. Tommy Summer, obviously, lefty starter. I would pencil him in for the weekend, in my opinion, but we'll see what happens. And we also have a right-handed pitcher, Dalton Laney, coming over from Lincoln Trail Junior College. He was actually on Indiana State. He pitched against us. He pitched 3 innings 2 years ago. Only gave up 1 run, went through the whole lineup. He's a real deceptive motion guy. I've seen some video on him. He hides the ball real well. He's all arms and legs, real tall guy. I think he was like 6'6", if I remember. Yeah, 6'6". He had a real good season for the Terre Haute Rex 2 years ago when they won the title with Drew Ashley and Van Pelt and Austin Long. So, he can start. He can definitely start if that's an option we want to go. Let's see what else we got for pitching. Now, that leads us to the... Where's the paper with the juniors? Here we go. See that? This is why you don't do this live like this. Here we go. Now, for the sophomores, we got Gabe Bierman, Alex Franklin, McCade Brown, Braden Tucker, and Matt Litwicki all coming back. So, it's a nice sophomore class coming back as far as what we need. But the question is, where are they going to fit, right? Because Bierman, I could definitely see being a weekend guy. That's really where I would think they'd pencil him in. And when it comes down to the rest of the choices, you're looking at an opportunity for an Alex Franklin. He started midweeks. Maybe he'll pencil into a weekend starter. McKay Brown, he impressed over the summer. See what happens with him. Braden Tucker, he was throwing great on the summer league this year. They might want to lengthen him out. A lot of choices as far as the experienced guys. Matt Lickwicki, I don't know if we can lengthen him out, but he can throw it. He's got some velocity. I would think he might be more of a bullpen piece. All right, and then as far as the freshman pitchers coming in, the ones that most, thought about, Reese Sharp, I would say. You know what I'm saying? He got drafted by the Giants, decided to come back. He's a real big presence on the mound, throws hard. I've heard 92, 93. I heard 94. I don't know if that ever got verified, but he can really get it in there. A.J. Hacker, the player of the year in Kentucky. He originally was set up to go, was it Murray State? No. Yeah, I think it was Murray State. Either way, they have a coaching change, so he now committed to us. He can be a big addition. He was like 11-0 with an under 1 ERA for his high school team. A.J. Hacker, remember that name. Nate Stahl, player of the year, prep baseball in Ohio. Another arm that's going to be coming in. Jack Walker, a real big, tall lefty, New Palestine High School. He's got another deceptive, long arms and legs, hides the ball well. I can think he would be a big piece, probably a bullpen piece. Joe Wilkinson, Providence. Dylan Steele, Bloomington. We got John Madugno out of New Jersey. Now, he was actually closing already for his high school team. And they're a big-time program, so he was closing out some big games. I would think he would just fill right back into that bullpen role. David Platt, real hard thrower out of Pennsylvania. He was already listed 92, 93. A lot of people talking about Platt and seeing about his velocity and how it plays in the D1 level. And we got Blaine Deaton. That was actually Coach's first verbal commit. So we're interested to see that another freshman addition to the staff. Lots of decisions for Coach Parker and Coach Mercer. This roster, there's a lot of turnover. There was a lot of innings missed, a lot of strikeouts and stuff like that are off the board. Like I said, it was 290 innings and 310 Ks. We lost the Big Ten Pitcher of the Year. We lost our ace. But you know what happened? In 2016, the same exact thing happened. The entire weekend rotation was gone. Jonathan Steva became the Friday guy. And we figured it out. And we haven't missed the tournament since. So Coach Lamonis did a hell of a job then. And we put Kyle Hart and Caleb Barriger into the draft. Evan Bell went into the draft that year. Jake Kelzer went into the draft. So, you know what? It's a good thing you guys get drafted. It's a good thing you guys leave as juniors, if that's whatever the case might be. It's just an opportunity. It's an opportunity for a Gabe Bierman, for a Tommy Summer, for an A.J. Hacker, for Reese Sharp. You never know. You never know who's going to fill these spots. A Braden Scott. You don't know. If I had to make a pick, real early, I'll go Bierman, Summer, and Scott for the weekend. Why not? Because you might not want to put the freshmen right up there in the weekend at first. Maybe let them do some midweek stuff. But who knows? That's early in the year. By Big Ten play, by later in Big Ten play. If a freshman's ready, I could see Coach putting him out there. If you want to develop a guy, the best way to develop, right, is to be out there with experience. So we'll see what happens. So that's your roster. Really looking forward to the fall. Practices are open. You want to go check out a practice. When we hear more about fall ball games, we'll let you know. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just hit that button right there. Just click on it. And whenever a new video clip comes up or an interview or whatever we have, you'll get a notification. So, that's it. That's basically our video update. Classes start Monday, and go Hoosiers.